So go for it.
It's the same thing. Like it's not the difficulty.
All right.
Okay.
We're inclined to let you talk, and we're inclined to not let you talk.
Okay.
What do you think? Should we let him talk? Yeah, go ahead and talk. Go ahead and talk. Dig yourself into a deep hole.
Okay. Here we go. Everybody is jumping for the ride.
They relate. You know why the marbles are active in your bag? The way life's touched you. There's no judgment here. We're not saying that shouldn't be the case. In fact, what we're saying is, you got a bag of marbles. Let's say it so that if somebody's listening in, they won't think we're utterly crazy. You've got some points of attraction because of the way life touched you. You observed. You were raised with other people who had things going on in their life. You observed what was happening in their life. So you practiced vibrations without even knowing you were practicing vibrations. So you've got vibrations that don't serve you going on, and you've got vibrations that do serve you going on. And now you're a deliberate creator wanting to sort it out and get the ones active on more occasions that will serve you. And so we're just going to make some very obvious but profound statements, and we want you all to take these in, especially you. You are where you are, and that's okay. And you feel about everything the way you do, and that's okay. You feel about your body the way you do because you practiced yourself there. And you feel about relationships the way you do because you practiced and observed yourself there. And you feel about food the way you do because you practiced yourself there. You feel about money the way you do because you practiced yourself there. And it's okay. In fact, it has to be okay because it's how the law of attraction works. When you observe something and you spend a little time observing it, so you activate it just because you observed it, maybe something that you were growing up with or something that you observed in your peer group or whatever, it's active in you. The law of attraction will bring you things like that in support of your active vibration, with no judgment about whether it's right or wrong, no judgment about even whether you want it or not, only responsive to a vibration that's active within you. So you don't have to spend any time saying, well, I got that from my family, or I got that from that friend, or I feel vulnerable about my health because my dearest friend got sick and croaked and died. In other words, life happens. Life happens, and you learn to offer vibrations that now you might be evaluating are not serving you all that well. And how do you know? You're connecting the dots, and some of what you want isn't coming, and some of what you don't want is coming. So there's only one way to fix that. Offer more thoughts about wanted and fewer thoughts about unwanted. And so we write book after book after book with process after process to help you find ways to do that. But this is the simplest. Law of attraction is a real thing, and it's active all the time. And there is an energy field. It's a field of attraction, just like there's the field of gravity, and it's never yielding. But what you can do is offer a vibration that serves you. You can do that. So don't take from any of this that we're saying, oh, I should be better, or I should be doing something different. Instead, hear us when we say, it's natural that your bag of marbles is what it is. That's what life showed you, and that's what you focused upon, and that's what's active right now, and that's what your point of attraction is. Then the next question is it all the way you want it to be? No. This part is, and this part is, but money, not so much. So that's when we say, you got to start looking at it differently. Got to start looking at it differently. Esther was talking to a friend recently who was talking about someone that she cares about, whose finances are all upended. And Esther said, you know, Abraham's got two processes about money that I used and really worked for me, and I've seen so many people use them and really worked for me. One of them is the wallet process, where you get $100 and put it in your wallet. Get it however you can get it, but don't go to jail. And don't spend it, but walk around with this feeling of $100 prosperity in your wallet or in your handbag or in your pocket. And notice, if I really wanted that, I could have it. If I really wanted that, I could have that. If you mentally spend that $100 100 times in a day, it has activated different marbles in you. It just does. And so Esther's friend said, I told my friend about the processes, and she liked this one particularly. And she went to work, and there's something that they're doing as a team, and her boss said she had qualified for a bonus and actually put $100 bill in her hand the next day. Now that's strong attraction. So strong that it makes you wonder, could that really be true? Is Abraham just making up stuff so that we'll believe it? She can connect those dots. She now understands her point of attraction in a way that she's never understood it before, because she had the thought, she had the desire, she took an action with expectation, and the universe yielded to her right away because she turned money into a game instead of into a burden, into a want instead of into a lack, into a desire instead of into a need. All of that happened with just that one little game that she played. And then the law of attraction demonstrated. The law of attraction is demonstrating to you all over the place what's active in your point of attraction. And when you connect those dots, when you own that, then and only then. Because otherwise, there's millions of books, more being written every day. Everybody got a different idea about what you can do. And we're not saying that the books aren't helpful. Many of them are. Do you understand what we're saying here? Isn't it clear? Don't you want to just focus a little and see what happens? And once you get that rolling, in other words, it doesn't take very much for you to show yourself what this thought yielded in order to start having other thoughts. Esther, she has a place in San Diego, a small apartment. She just moved into another one. And it was really challenging and exciting because she had too much stuff for this little place. And so her ideas of where things should go, some of them clicked right into place, and others had to be sort of molded into place. And sometimes she couldn't have thought of that till she tried that first. And she couldn't have thought of that until she tried that first. And so if you're willing to not need it to work exactly the way you want it to, the first thought that you have, and you don't then crowd out all the possibilities by saying this place is just too small. This place is the perfect place, and my stuff is the perfect stuff, and it's already been organized over here. And when it's all said and done, everything went right where it was best to go. And it is the most delicious living space that she's ever stepped into, but it took a week of moving things around. Well, aren't you willing to give something a week to move things around? And we know that seems like a frivolous, unimportant conversation, moving furniture from place to place. If you know Esther, you know. She told her daughter, furniture is my inner being, I'm pretty sure. Because it interests me, it's fun. I feel the fun of it, and when it clicks, it really clicks. You just want to start everything that is important to you. Relationships, money, clarity, a fortune, not just money. Ease in your life, a world that yields to you. All of that. You can be or do or have anything that you desire, as long as your marbles don't contradict your desire. And what we're saying to you is that when this time-space reality gives birth within you to the desire, that goes into your vibrational reality vortex version, where your inner being is focused upon that bag of marbles, and the law of attraction is already gathering the cooperative components. It's mostly already done. And furthermore, what we are pointing over here into this vortex, which seems to you like it's future experience, that's not future, that's present tense for your inner being. You ask and it is given. Someone should write a book. You ask and it is given. It is done. It's done. You ask and it is given. It's done. You've just got to find some way of cajoling yourself, of teasing yourself, of making a game out of something. You just got to find some way of not not believing. You just got to find some way of at least letting it sit there while you get yourself ready, at least anticipating that it's coming. When we say to you, the cooperative components have been gathered, sometimes we just like to zap you for just a moment of that understanding. We tried it with a few people, but it hurt them too much. We just want you to feel the realness of what you've asked for instead of practicing the not realness of it, because you think that what's manifested so far is present tense. It's not. That's past tense. That's past tense. You're already over here. Your inner being's already over here. So you got some choices in every moment. You're gonna go to that party and remember the last conversation you had with that person that you didn't get along with. You think it's future, but it's past. And the reason it hurts you so much is because you moved past it, but you're not letting yourself go there. Life is supposed to be fun, and life is responsive to you. And when you finally own that you are an emitter of vibration that has control over the vibration you emit, because you care about how you feel, so you're practicing it more and more, and then you come into a room with hundreds of people and you get a new fresh book in your hand and you write, I'm gonna be in the hot seat, and then boom, you're in the hot seat. And you hear the room applaud for you. They're glad. You wave like the princess on the float. It was all the cooperative components that had already been gathered. We were all in on that vibrationally. And the money you want is the same thing, and the relationships that you want is the same thing. Everything is the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The law of gravity, it's the same thing. Isn't it? Don't you expect it to be? Don't you expect to fall down, not up? Don't you expect it to respond to you in a consistent way? The law of attraction is responding to you in a consistent way. And just like you learned to fly an airplane, just like you've learned to use gravity in all kinds of helpful ways to humanity, you can adapt to the law of attraction in all kinds of helpful ways for yourself. And the biggest thing, the biggest piece, is when you finally get it, that the other people who have affected you, we know they have, and still are affecting you, we know they do. Biggest thing happens when you let all of them off the hook, because they are where they are and they can't help where they are. Not right now, this red hot minute. They think like they think. Their point of attraction is what their point of attraction is, and it has nothing to do with you.